for joining us for this meeting. Today is September 24th, 2024, and it's 6:33 p.m. Call this meeting to order. Seguin Independent School District has been duly called, and that notice of this meeting has been posted in accordance with the Texas Open Meeting Act, Section 551.043 of the Texas Government Code. Item 1B, pledges to the United States flag and Texas flag, followed by a moment of silence. And today we have Haven Loera, a third grade student at Jefferson, that will be leading us in the pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you, Haven.
We were just
Now we'll move on to item number 2, recognition and campus presentations. 2A, campus highlights. Oh, I'm sorry. 1C, superintendent announcements.
Good evening, everyone. A lot has happened since our last board meeting. The Lady Matadors volleyball team will defend its undefeated 6-0 district record tonight. Tennis is 3-1 in our district play. Our cross-country teams continue to do well into next month's district meet. The boys team won the Goliath Invitational over the weekend. The Matador football team kicked off its district play with a 37-30 win Friday night over Victoria East. I would also like to recognize our middle school sports teams who have started their seasons. Best of luck to you. Our fine arts students are also getting attention across the San Antonio area. Grupo Folclórico de Seguin High School and Mariachi Matador performed in front of the Alamo on Saturday. Our district is also well represented at TMEA. 9 students were recently chosen for Region Mariachi, and 6 students were named to the Region Choir. Also happening tonight, 12 SHS theater students will be inducted into the Thespian Society. The work of our visual arts students could be seen all over town during homecoming week. They made mums for several elected officials. Looking ahead, the Matador Band is also gearing up to host the Seguin Marching Festival this Saturday at Matador Stadium. The district has received several donations over the past weeks that will benefit our students and staff. I would like to take this moment to thank HEB, Texas Lutheran University, Elevation Fitness, Texan Credit Corporation, Alligator Dental, SPJST, the Construction Trades Booster Club, Helmerich and Payne, and Bloom Realty for their support. Earlier this month, I had the privilege of watching one of our students take the spotlight at the Mexican American School Board Association National Conference in San Antonio. Seguin High School senior Gabriel Perez Polanco gave a Tomás talk, similar to a TED talk, about his experiences in a Texas public school. I was proud to see one of our matadors on such a big stage. I want to remind the community that nominations to name all or part of the Seguin High School baseball and softball complex are still open. The district will accept nominations through Monday, September 30th. We have the details on the criteria for potential nominations on the district's website. We are also preparing to start surveys for our families, students, and staff in conjunction with the Gallup research firm. Families will start receiving surveys from Gallup early next month, while students and staff will receive surveys in late October. All responses will be confidential, and we look forward to hearing from the Seguin ISD community. I'd like to close with my thanks to our students and staff for their hard work as they maintain the Matador mindset. Their success proves our effort to cultivate, inspire, and empower our students to grow and learn is working. We are one team learning together and elevating excellence to grow our exceptional students into exceptional citizens. Remember, it's always a great day to be a Matador. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Levy. Now we'll move to item 1D, board member reports. Start with you.
So I feel like rather than one specific event I've gone to, I've gotten to see so many of our students do so many exciting things over the last few weeks at pep rallies and games and all kinds of events. So it's been great to see all the talent on display. I was invited by a community member to tour the site of the Central Texas Technology Center, where they have a program called FAME, the Advanced Manufacturing Technician Program, through the Texas State Technical College. Sorry, that was too many different things for me to remember. Anyway, it's a fascinating program that's really putting some of our graduates into great manufacturing careers. And along the way, I got to hear some of the things that our CTE program is doing right, and how highly valued many of our teachers are, including our CTE teachers like Mr. Rice. And so it was wonderful to hear how much the community thinks about us and how impressed they are with our students when they come out of those programs. So it was wonderful to hear.
Thank you, Linda.
Yes, I've been to several events. I just want to highlight, I'm so excited about our volleyball team. I've been to some games, and just the team spirit that they have. You kind of sense that even from the football team as well. Coming from behind and getting victories, it's so exciting. But it's just also as exciting to see that those relationships that they're building with each other, between them and their coaches, have really come together and gelled. And if someone wants to update us on the game, because I kind of wish I was in two places. I need to learn how to clone myself. But another exciting thing that I got to do, so honored to be able to do this, was MC Meet the Mats. And so there'll be 2 more opportunities to come out to Meet the Mats within the year, and I encourage everybody to come. And you'll learn things like, yes, we stand when the school song is played. And I noticed that there must have been a whole lot of people who didn't attend Meet the Mats at the football game on Friday night, because not everybody stood for the school song. And it's like my goal before I die to see the standing up for the school song. I will get off of my soapbox now and yield my time to John Bright.
Returning from my excursion over the summer, I appreciate everybody's hard work while I was gone in my absence. I was keeping tabs the best I can, and I know there was a lot of good stuff that was done. Stepping back, when I got back, the biggest thing I did this last week was tour all the CTE spaces, or the most that I could. with our new CTE director. Sergio is fantastic. Really looking forward to all of the great things. All the great things and programs and just the little minute changes he's already making for us. Just really hit the ground running, and I know that we can really do a lot with our CTE programs here and get the students set off in the right direction with those. So thank you to all of the CTE staff and Sergio for all your hard work and keeping that going. And we look forward to what you guys are going to do this year.
Thank you, Josh. I also attended several activities, and one of my highlights was the one that Dr. Lee has already mentioned, the Mazda 2024 National Conference in San Antonio. I attended several sessions, but one of the highlights was the Tomas Talks presentation. This was a unique platform that allowed students to share their unique perspective and experiences in public schools. 9 students from different school districts participated. Seguin ISD High School senior Gabriel Perez Polanco was one of the 9. Coming from the Dominican Republic, Gabriel explained his experiences at Seguin ISD. He's a great example of all the opportunities that exist in our district for students to succeed in their education and future careers. We'll move on to item number 2A, campus highlights. We are always Matador proud to hear from each of our schools about their accomplishments and efforts to help our students reach their full potential. I'm pleased to welcome Principal Deborah Riley from Ball Elementary Childhood Center. Our youngest Matadors at Ball are learning to develop their writing skills and express their ideas as they prepare for kindergarten. And Mrs. Riley is here tonight to highlight this year's district writing goals. Mrs. Riley, the floor is yours.
Good evening, Board President Guetta, distinguished board members, and Dr. Vigil. We're excited, Ms. Guetta, my assistant principal, is here with me tonight and has joined me. We're excited to present to you writing in pre-K. So we took a look at the district goal of increasing the percentage of third grade students whose score meets grade level or above on the STAR reading from 40 to 54% by August of 2025. And knowing that there are responses, the writing responses in that STAR test, we thought, what can we do to help support this goal at Ball? So with our little Matadors, Ball ECC will show an increase in the percentage of students who achieve on track for kinder readiness and overall writing from 87% to 90% by August of 2025. Now the 87% score is based on 2324 students, where there are 346 pre-K 4 students, and 301 of those students were on track for kinder readiness leading us this year. So why do we write in pre-K? Well, as young children watch adults write for many purposes, they develop an understanding that print conveys meaning and become motivated to write by engaging in drawing and scribbling to communicate. Eventually, those writing abilities will progress, and they may begin to use letters or strings of letters to communicate. Teachers play an important role in the development of pre-kindergarten children's emergent writing by encouraging them to communicate their thoughts and record their ideas. So one of the first steps is pencil grass development for handwriting. So I thought it'd be fun tonight. In front of you is a box full of things that you would use if you were developing your pencil grass in handwriting at the pre-K level. So some of the things we do is Lego building, Play-Doh, using tweezers, stringing beads, clothespins, and golf pencils. You'll also notice that your clothespin activity has your first name. So you can learn to match letters in your name, because that's where we begin, because the name in print is their first step. So, what better way to show you is to show pictures in action. So here we have our kiddos using the tweezers to develop their graphs, rolling Play-Doh to build finger strength. Now in the second step in our classrooms, in pre-kindergarten classrooms, teachers serve as models and guides, writing for different purposes for and with children. The picture to your left is an anchor chart.
Now, an anchor chart is used in classrooms as a visual reminder for students. In all of our pre-K classrooms, we have an anchor chart that talks about what writers do. First of all, you're going to think. That's why there's a light bulb there. Second, we're going to draw. Third, we're going to label. Fourth, we're going to write. And fifth, we're going to add those details. Now, where do we add writing? Shared writing activities. In our read aloud, we have a response after a read aloud. In our computer lab, they're learning keyboarding so they can become those keyboarding warriors. Morning message, centers, free choice journals, and a dedicated time for journal time. Every pre-K classroom, pre-K 3 or pre-K 4, has a dedicated journal time. So again, in pictures, this is our September journals. So you can see every child in the district has a journal for September. This is a picture of what our message board looks like, where at the bottom right-hand corner, we emphasize our phonemic awareness skills, which help develop into those writing skills. So we also have writing centers in every classroom, and I wanted you to know that on day 1, we were journal writing. So we also encourage free writing in center areas, painting, and adding words to their paintings. Working in various centers in the room, students are developing that fine motor skills and that grasp. We encourage free writing in other center areas where they get to make something out of something and then write about it. Or as we were working on It's All About Me, doing their self-portrait. And if you notice the little girl's name is fully spelled at the bottom, that is one of our pre-K 3 students moving to pre-K 4. And it's September. So the other thing was on that day, making our mark on the world and how important print is. Now Ms. Guetta's going to share some more information.
Good evening. So for some of our professional developments to develop our brand new teachers, we had quite a bit this year. We had some of our more experienced teachers give a writing workshop, and I'll talk a little bit more about that because the language teachers will be presenting at Tabe. Another one of our strategies is we often use TLC as one of the ways for our newer teachers and our veterans to get together and collaborate a little bit more on how to improve writing in their classrooms. Now this is what we expect from the teachers working as a grade level, making sure that writing is implemented both in centers and in their lesson plans with their direct instruction. Once every 9 weeks, teachers do come together and analyze various works of the students. That way they get a really good picture of what our students are writing, what they're doing, how they can improve. Now the next 2 slides describe the writing rubric. So this is our pre-K 3 writing rubric, and the next one is our pre-K 4 writing rubric. Now the expectations you're going to see are very similar. However, with our pre-K 3 students, we want them to be in 1, 2, 3, and 4, and that's where we want them to add. In front of you, you do have a copy. And so for our pre-K 4 kiddos, we want them at this level. So as you can see, they're already doing some of that inventive spelling, and that's where we really want them to be. That's our goal. So some of the ways that we improve some of our writing, we use Napman, and we emphasize curved lines, straight lines, long lines, because we want the students to take apart those letters and really learn them. Of course, as you can see, we also have some of the name puzzles that you guys have in front. Now, you have the beginning drawing. Now, this is what they're going to see right now in our classrooms. But at the end of the year, as you can see, they're writing a full sentence. Now, this does come from a dual language classroom, and it says, this is a bear. Es un oso. So, I mean, it's fantastic how they can write full sentences. So we're really excited to have Ms. Lopez, Ms. Molina, and Ms. Moreno attend TABE, the Texas Association of Bilingual Educators, at their 52nd annual conference, and where they're going to be presenting Unlocking Bilingual Students' Writing Potential in Pre-K Classrooms. They will be presenting alongside Dr. Kennedy. So we're super excited to have them present and represent Seguin ISD as well as Ball. Thank you.
So are there any questions?
Oh, come on, we're here. We got it, we're ready.
Super proud of what y'all doing and supporting that strategic goal. So that's really thankful for that.
Thank you. So you can enjoy the boxes for the rest of the evening because I know Play-Doh is very relaxing, but I will have to have the boxes back by the end of it. It's got to go back to Ms. Mark's classroom who actually put all the boxes together for me, and I want to say thank you publicly to her for that.
Even the post, with the post.
Already. I came up with a question for you.
Okay.
So you were a kindergarten teacher.
I was. For 28 years I taught kindergarten.
How many of your students would have come in with these kind of skills over the years?
They would not. We've come a long way since I taught kinder. I could honestly say, as a kinder teacher in the district, I always knew the children that came from ball. There was no doubt in my mind. But I think we've made the writing process fluid. I do see some growth yet to go between pre-K and kinder. There needs to be more conversations between the two grade levels. But yes. Anything else?
Great job, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Can we get the clothespins?
Yes, the clothespins are yours.
Thank you. So now we're moving on to item 2B, student, staff, and staff board. Student/staff board/community recognition. And Michael Lyons will just present.
Good evening, President Guerra, Dr. Vicky, Board of Trustees. I'm going to turn around. Our superintendent students of the month joining us tonight are from Ball Early Childhood Center, Jefferson Elementary, A.J. Breezy Meister Middle School, and Seguin High School. Our youngest superintendent student of the month is Kamizi Lopez, a pre-K4 student from Ball. She comes to school every day with a smile and ready to learn. Kamizi is known for being kind, helpful, and always doing her best in school. Her teacher, Miss Bennett, says she thinks Kamizi's teacher from last year even wish they could have her back in class. Kamizi's parents are Bria Rosa Flores and Juan Lopez. Congratulations, Kamizi. Come on up. Haven Loera is a third grade student at Jefferson Elementary. Her teachers say choosing her for this month's recognition was easy. Haven is always smiling and eager to learn, kind to her classmates, and respectful to her teachers. She also always participates in Spirit Days and is described as bringing joy to all those around her. Haven also plays softball and participates in Girl Scouts. Make sure y'all buy some cookies. Her parents are Osvaldo Loera and Sarah Garcia. Congratulations, Haven. And if the family could also join her for a picture. Awesome. Thank you, Haven. 8th grader Calvin Ivy attends AJB, where he participates in honor band, Spanish 2, and theater. Calvin sets an example by working to get his assignments in on time, asking questions, and supporting his classmates. He is also described as patient, kind, helpful, and a treasure in class, who sets the Toro Achieve example for his fellow students. His parents are Steve and Sharon Ivy. Congratulations, Calvin. Come on up. Parents, come on up.
Whichever way.
Thank you, Calvin. Our final superintendent student of the month is Chang Chen, a junior at Seguin High School. His list of activities is extensive: AVID, NJROTC, Brain Brawl, Chess Club, Color Guard, Cyber Patriot, and UIL Math. His teachers describe him as a student with incredible work ethic who is mindful of his peers, a true leader, and amazing student. Chang is here with his sister, Summer Chen. Congratulations, Chang. Come on up. you. Congratulations to our Superintendent Student of the Month. At this time, I'd like to turn the microphone over to Dr. Vahid for September's Superintendent Apple Award.
Thank you, Ms. Lyons. We have a special guest who is no stranger to the Seguin ISD community. I'm not sure when he has free time because he is committed to serving our district, the city of Seguin, and those who live here. Whether it's helping clean up his community, serving as a city councilman, tutoring students through Seguin Youth Services, or providing our students with a nurturing environment at the Mercer Bloomberg Learning Center, it's safe to say September's Superintendent Apple Award pick is a busy fellow. We asked a few people how they would describe this month's recipient, and I wanted to share some things they had to say. He is funny and brings joy and humor to all situations, yet he is thoughtful, thinks things through, and does what's best for our entire community. His ability to read students is great as he helps them to learn how to redirect themselves back into the learning center. MBLC works because he is here. They also described him as a dedicated father and son, a master storyteller, and a man with a servant's heart who learns the background, special interests, and needs of all students at MBLC. Doesn't he sound like the person we need to support our students? That is the kind of person that the Superintendent Apple Award celebrates. This individual has worked for Seguin ISD for 22 years and serves as Secretary and Registrar at MBLC. He also served nearly 8 years on the Seguin City Council. I am honored to introduce this month's recipient of the Superintendent Apple Award, Chris Grunhead.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
And at this time, I'd like to call Monica Lyons up for some more educator recognitions.
Good evening. Good evening. Thank you. We have some educator recognitions. So we have 2 staff members to recognize for their service on STAR Summer 2024 Educator Item Review Committees. Monica Franco, our elementary coordinator, has the district at the district office. She was part of the STAR Reading Grade 3 Item Review. And Leticia Gutierrez is a bilingual teacher at Kinnicky Elementary. She served on the review committee for STAR Spanish Reading Grade 4 and the Review STAR Spanish Grade 4 Item Review. Ms. Franco and Ms. Gutierrez represented Seguin ISD among 1,100 state educators who helped review and revise test questions. The judge, item content, appropriateness, and difficulty. We'd like to thank them for their service. Thank you, Ms. Franco and Ms. Gutierrez. If you could please come up.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
So now we'll move on to item 2C, Fall 2024 Student Teachers and Mentor Teachers. Presenter is Joe Trujillo.
Good evening, President. Good evening, President Guerra, Dr. Vigil. It's on. I'm not as tall as Monica. Good evening, President Guerra, Dr. Vigil, and Board of Trustees. I am Matador proud to recognize and celebrate the university students from Texas Lutheran University and Texas State University who have chosen to complete their student teaching in Seguin ISD. These students are being mentored by our amazing elementary and secondary teachers. I'd like to introduce each student teacher and their mentor teacher at this time. We'll start with Bailey Aldridge, who is being mentored by Marisa Bios at Flatlawn Elementary. Next, we have Shannon Bowden being mentored by Stephanie Trowbridge at Rodriguez Elementary. Next, we have Denise Garcia being mentored by Lauren Morgan at Jefferson Elementary. We have Gabriela Garza being mentored by Mr. Keith Robinson at Jefferson Elementary. Courtney Hesseltine being mentored by Felicia Cordes at Kennedy Elementary, and she will be accompanied by Miss Leslie Mahaffey. Felicia Cordes. William Hicks, being mentored by Haley McCullum at Seguin High School. Canon Cromus, being mentored by Imelda Brenna at Seguin High School. Heidi Lundquist, being mentored by Rachel Merrick at Ball Elementary, Ball BCC. Samantha Madera, being mentored by Christy Rodriguez at Seguin High School. Ashley Medellin, being mentored by Brandy Rangel at Jim Barnes Middle School. And Denise Morig Woodard, being mentored by Megan Pearson at Seguin High School.
Yes, let's move it to the front. Yes, ma'am. I'm coming. Hey, if you guys can't see the camera. There you go. There you go. All right, hold on. Stay right there. Don't move. Okay.
Go ahead, Tanisha, you go first. One first.
Tippy toes, Miss Duncan. All right, we got it. Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is 3, audience with the board. And we do have 2 individuals that are willing to speak. The Seguin ISD Board of Trustees designates a time for audience participation at the beginning of each meeting to hear persons who desire to make comments in accordance with Board Policy BED Local. Those wishing to speak shall sign up before the meeting begins, stating the concern or noting the agenda item they wish to address. Audience participation is limited to 5 minutes. The board shall not deliberate any subject that is not on the posted agenda. And our first individual is Maria Castilleja, and she will be speaking about Seguin High School. Oh, okay. So also Analisa Rangel.
Good evening, President Guerra. Good evening, President Guerra, Dr. Deacon, and Board of Trustees. My name is Maria Castilla, class of 2004. I currently have 2 students in the district, one senior, Seguin ISD president, and a sophomore who's a freshman.
Okay, we just came to, my name is Annalisa Rangel, and I'm a proud class of 2004 graduate, and we just celebrated our 20-year reunion, and I'm also the proud principal at Holland Elementary.
So we're here to express our gratitude to the Seguin High School. We have a list of people particularly that we want to express our gratitude to, and then Annalisa wants to share just a tidbit of what our classmates shared with us over the weekend, but the support and that contributed to our success of our weekend was huge. That back and forth emailing, it was phenomenal. We always had somebody following up with us, so that was amazing. So on behalf of the class of 2004, we are so happy that we were able to pull this off without a hitch. We actually had 106 in attendance. So those that I want to recognize: Tina Anderson with the athletic secretary, Christine Mazarana with Seguin High School secretary. Actually, I started contacting her since August of last year, so she's probably tired of me. Christine Pettis, the Seguin High School principal. Tanisha Hearn, communications specialist. Student council students, Danielle Diego and Yvonne, the director. And then the sports booster are amazing. I know you probably know that already. Kathy Biker, Karina Galvis, and Bill Klingman. They were phenomenal as well.
One of the highlights of my weekend is, there was a lot, but on Saturday morning we got to tour the campus with classmates, and they were in awe of all the CTE programs and what we have available for our students. And one of the guys, he's military and they moved back, and he had the choice to either send his students to Navarro or here. And he's so grateful that he chose here, and he actually led our tour, so it's pretty neat. The class president got to lead our tour, but I'm just so excited and just how much that program has grown in just the past 20 years. So thank you again, and we really appreciate all the help we had to through our weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you, Maria and Annalisa. Now we'll move on to item number 4, reports/information items. 4A, Seguin Education Foundation Annual Report, and Joe Nash will report.
Good evening, President Garrett, Dr. V. Hill, Board of Trustees, and community. Seguin Education Foundation had an absolute wonderful year, and I can't wait to share the highlights with you this evening. But first, let's remind everyone what the mission, purpose, and goals are for the Education Foundation. The mission is to generate and distribute resources to enrich teaching, inspire learning, enhance opportunities for students enrolled in Seguin ISD. And the goals we set are to encourage all students to achieve academic excellence, support staff for innovative and exemplary teaching, build community awareness for the SEF and the Seguin ISD, as well as inspire parents, community, and alumni to participate with the school district. Our first event we had this year was our Welcome Wagon, where we welcomed many teachers. We gave them $50 cash for their pocket to do what they would like. Then we hosted, with partnership with the Pecan Fest as well as Pecan Town Books and Brew, the Nuts About Education 5K in October. We raised $9,000 That was also emceed by our mayor, Donna Dodgen, along with Dr. V. Hill and Trustee Duncan. Then we had our awesome surprise patrol, where we were able to award $67,000 worth of grants to 18 of our teachers to put all of those monies back into the classroom. Here is a picture of one of our grants from Ball Early Childhood, where they partnered with Seguin High School engineering program. Those kiddos got to put those bikes together, and they got to see the kids riding them, and you got to see the full circle from our little matadors to our biggest matadors. We also had our Seguin Read Story Walk grand opening just recently. If you have not gone by the Seguin Public Library, please do so and check out that grant, and you will not be disappointed. Now, our most anticipated event of the year, last year we had our Mardi Gras, which was held in February. We raised $119,000, which was up $15,000 from the year before. Within that fundraiser, we were able to host another fundraiser, which is our paddle race, and each year we select a part of Seguin ISD where we can give additional funds to. That was selected for the Seguin ISD Irma Lewis Outdoor Learning Center, and we were able to raise $12,600 just for that recipient through our paddle race at Mardi Gras. So, this coming year, when we have our grant surprise patrol in November, we are now able to give an award $97,971.30. That is up $30,000 from last year. That is thankful to all of our sponsors and donors from our Mardi Gras event, as well as H&P STEM donation. We have funds left from our Bloomberg STEM donation, and then we had unexpended funds from the previous year that we're able to add on to this year. We're thankful for HEB for being a constant donor. They gave us $2,500. We also partnered with Coach Cox at Jim Barnes Middle School for his PBL, which was called the Many Functions of Walking. This past year, the students were able to create a walkathon. They chose the Education Foundation to be the recipient of the funds, and those kiddos raised $400 that we then, in turn, gave back to the kids in the classroom. Then, at the end of the year, we closed out with one of our most favorite events. We have our Celebration of Excellence, which generally this event is normally not a fundraiser for us, but so many donors and sponsors in our community love this event so much. We were able to raise $12,000. And in this event, the top 10% of our graduating class is able to honor their teacher hero. So we had 44 students and 44 teachers that were honored this past year. We are also thankful for the Joe Cool's continuous sponsorship with us. They provided this check during our State of Education event at the Chamber, where Dr. V. Hill also provided some words over the state of the district. And then Sioux Casa was celebrating their 20 years of serving Seguin. They decided to give back to Education Foundation. They had Seguin Education Foundation Day and were able to raise off of profits from what they sold, $500 to give back to the Education Foundation. None of this would not be possible if we did not have the board that we have. We have wonderful community members that serve on this board, and we are so thankful for each and every one of them. Now, upcoming events, mark your calendars. Currently, we are running a community and alumni giveaway. What you do is you enter for free, and you can win a $500 gift card from the Education Foundation. It'll also help you stay in touch with all of the events that are coming up from the Education Foundation. We're currently running our employee giving campaign that used to be called the Gold Rush. It's now been rebranded. So that is where any employee can give back from their payroll deduction back to the Education Foundation.
And then we're gonna have our super secret grant surprise patrol in November. So stay tuned for a super secret email on dates for that. And then Mardi Gras is gonna be held February 27th, 2025. Please mark your calendars. We look forward to you guys joining us. And then we're gonna close out the year with our celebration of excellence, which will be May 8th, 2025. Any questions for me?
Thank you for all you've been doing since you came on board. I really appreciate staying on top of everything and keeping us all in line and everyone in line. Thank you for what you do. We appreciate it.
Nice work with the extra 30,000 too. That's amazing.
Thank you.
To grow up 30,000 a year, that's strong work right there. Good job.
Yes, thank you, Joe Nash. Being on the board of directors the first year it started, you know, seeing it's come a long way.
That was back in 2004.
Exactly. Yeah.
Thank you for that.
It was fun. I enjoyed it when we were building it at the time. And we're in a couple of committees, you know, the selection process. We have to write the criteria for the selection process for the grants. That was also kind of fun. But anyway, it's amazing how long it's gone. Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Thank the board and the executive board also for all their hard work.
Thank you so much.
And now we'll move to item 4B, submission of class size exemption waiver to the Texas Education Agency. Mr. Trevino will present.
Good evening, Board President Guerra, Dr. Vigil, board members and guests. This evening I present the submission of the class size waiver for to the Texas Education Agency. Each school district in the state of Texas is required to review its class sizes enrollment to determine whether class sizes for grades pre-K through fourth grade meet the requirement of the Texas Education Code. If a review indicates that any classes for these grade levels exceed the allowable class size of 22 to 1 students per classroom, then the district must submit a class size waiver under, again, the Texas Education Code. The increase in the enrollment in the following campuses continues to be a challenge for the school district. And that was the wrong slide. We have an update where Jefferson is correct. There are 4 classrooms in fourth grade. At Jefferson Elementary with 23 to 1. Kennedy has 2 classrooms with 23 to 1 in kindergarten and third grade. McQueenie has 2 classrooms in second grade. Pablan has 2 as well. Rodriguez has 1 classroom, and Bogle has only 1. We were able, you see that kindergarten, 3 classes in kindergarten. We were able to obtain, have an extra class, the form, and have a teacher there now. So that was done last week. So in essence, that went down to 13 classrooms. So I'm trying to get to the next slide, and nothing is happening.
The last slide.
Because the next slide, if it was there, you would see that last year, as requested, we wanted to find out where we were last year, this time of year. We had 9 classrooms at 23 to 1, where this year we have 13 classrooms. We need to request the class size waiver. Last year, the majority of the classrooms were at Jefferson Elementary. There were 6 classrooms last year, and this year there are 4. Last year there were 3 at Rodriguez, where this year there's only 1, and at Vogel there was 1 last year, and this year there's, and last year, I'm sorry, there was also 1 as well. I don't know what's going on with the slides. Nothing. Another request that was made was for a review of where we were in class enrollment for the last 3 years. And that slide, if you were able to see it, you would have seen that this, on September 16, 2022, we had an enrollment of 7,115 students. As of September 15, 2023, there were 7,248. And then this year, when we ran the report, which was September 13, we had 7,237, which was about 11 students less than last year, about the same time of year, same week of the school year. I apologize for the slides. Are there any questions that I may spot?
Any questions from the board?
What do we do, at what point would we need to add another teacher, say to kindergarten at Oak?
We did.
Okay.
We did.
Or, I'm just going
Yes.
at the numbers, just like what
Right.
point what's the tipping point
Right.
for that? Sorry, I'm just trying to use something that you can see.
Very good question. Tipping point, I would say, would be when we're at 24, we start looking, assessing the needs of the classroom, how they're doing. I did call all of the principals this year to find out how they were doing, and I received good responses from them as far as support they're providing for the teachers and the students in those classes. I would say 25, that's when we start kind of looking and really assessing again, how are they managing at the campus, and then deciding whether or not to go ahead and divide those classes. Now, it's also, we need to take a look at how many other classes are there to see if we can have like good enough size classes again. So there's several factors that we need to take a look at, but I would say 25.
May I add to that? We were discussing this, and it's really hard to make this decision without having some sort of guidelines. And so we're actually using another school district's staffing guidelines to guide our work so that we have a guide at least. It's not hard, fast numbers perhaps, but as Mr. Trevino said, when the number is 25, we're going to look at this, and so we'll have now a guide for kindergarten through high school, actually, looking at all of the numbers in classrooms.
I was gonna ask about high school. Do you look at high school as well, or is this just elementary that?
This class size waiver or staffing
When at high
ratios?
school, right. Would we ever have to get a waiver for high school classrooms?
No, never. The class size waiver is specifically for grades pre-K through fourth grade.
Okay.
Pre-K through fourth grade. So fifth
I
grade
emailed
is
it
not
to
in
you.
the equation as far as submitting a waiver.
There's no ratio for fifth through 12? They would be unlimited?
But,
It's
yeah.
HR's file. I can't give him that.
Theoretically.
You didn't get an email?
Yeah, Mr. Trevino, those two slides, they are in our email that we received, and you can also, if the board members want to preview them,
Yeah, just real quick, one of the things, like looking at that last slide, that I pulled it up on the other agenda, looking at that last slide, Vogel jumped almost 100 students in the last 2 years. I mean, obviously with the neighborhood moving across the street using alcohol. A lot of the other elementary schools went down, but like, and I know that talking to, when I went over to AJB the other day, talking to Ms. Guzman, she was expecting enrollments to be almost 300 by the end of the month, because they had people still moving in. She had like 20 enrollments like last week. So like, I know with the new renovation to AJB, we should be able to do good there. It's like what, 950, 900? Okay, we're already at 800. That's a little concern. Yeah, just a few, but for Bobo too, like, I know they're already busting up the scene, it seems like, and they're fairly new. So I'm talking, just putting on the radar, like portables or anything like that. I know they have some portables over there, but they're gonna need a lot of repair. Not nearly as bad as what's over at Wyman. But, these outlying schools like Kennedy, and Provo, where all these new neighborhoods are being built around them. We just need to.
So two things come to mind when we look at numbers like that. We start to look at the district lines, and is it time to redraw the lines? And that is a huge effort, which would have to start now, as well as portables. So those are the things that we look for, and we're keeping an eye on these numbers and seeing the same things that we recognize.
Yeah, we talked about that last year, and now that we have the new numbers for this year, yeah, it seems like it's coming at a faster pace. So yeah, definitely something the board needs to look at more closely on what we're gonna do.
And I will remind you that every spring of every year, we go through a staffing meetings with principals, where we look at projections from the technology department, from business department. We put that together, we have meetings with all principals, several departments, and we look at, again, projections for each of those, and that's where we kind of begin our staffing plans for each of the campuses. And then again, principals are not shy about asking for extra support, and they have, and we've listened. We've added another teacher at AJB. We added one now over at Vogel as well. So we monitor, and we're kind of doing what we need to do. So good question. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Torino.
Thank you. I'll remain here for the next.
4C, personnel information, professional employee. Mr. Torino will present.
Personnel professional employees, you have the slide in your packet where we had three new teachers being employed, and we had 2 resignations, and one to retirement and one to relocation. Here to Ms. Raymond, your questions, if you have any.
Any questions from the board? Thank you, Mr. Torino.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
So now we'll move on to item number 5, consent agenda items. Consider and possible approval as applicable. Policy BE local states that the consent agenda shall include items of a routine and or recurring nature grouped together under one action item. All such items shall be acted upon by one vote without separate discussion unless the board member requests that an item be withdrawn for individual consideration. The remaining items shall be adopted under a single motion and vote as applicable. 5A, approval of board minutes of regular meeting, August 27, 2024. 5B, approval of tax collection reports for August 2024. 5C, approval of donations received, August 2024. 5D, approval of district-wide vehicle maintenance, parts, and services. Request for proposal number 24-01. 5E, approval of district-wide facilities, maintenance, electrical equipment, parts and services, RFP number 2404. 5F, approval of district-wide educational consulting services, RFP 2406. 5G, information regarding purchases through the 2013 Purchasing Cooperative for a total cost of $53,064. 5H, information regarding purchases through the Texas 20 Purchasing Cooperative for a total cost of $2,699,500. 5I, information regarding purchases through the TIPS Purchasing Cooperative for a total cost of $70,800. 5J, information regarding purchases through the CTPA Purchasing Cooperative for a total cost of $266,566. And 5K, acknowledge Public Information Act request from August to September 2024. Does any board member wish to pull an item from the list? Hearing none, do I hear a motion to accept the consent agenda items?
Mr. President, I move to accept and approve the consent agenda items.
Motion has been made by Linda Duncan, do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Joshua Bright.
Not a lot of choice.
Are there any discussions? Any discussion?
I did want to say one thing.
Go ahead.
I'm usually the fun person who pulls things off the consent agenda when they're large amounts. But I always say, like, unless you're buying milk or paper, that $2.6 million is literally mostly milk and paper. So I let it.
Thank you, Denise. Now, all in favor, raise your right hand. Motion passed 4-0. Now we move on to the action items. 6A, appointment of directors to the Seguin Education Foundation. Having had a discussion with Grace Mueller and Linda Duncan, they agreed to participate in the Seguin Education Foundation. Do I hear a motion?
I move to appoint Linda Duncan and Grace Miller to the Seguin Education Foundation board from the Board of Trustees.
Second.
Motion has been made by Denise Crittenden and seconded by Joshua Bright to approve item 6A, appointment of directors to the Seguin Education Foundation. Any discussions? Any discussions? All in favor, raise your right hand. Motion passed 4-0. And now we'll move on to item number 6B, discussion and possible action on homeschool UIL participation. Coach Craig Daly will present. And Mr. Davis.
Good evening, Dr. V, President Guerra, and members of the board. As we discussed previously, House Bill 547 was approved in 2021 that allows homeschool students to participate in UIL activities if the district allows or chooses. Also, House Bill 3708 in 2023 provides some funding that will go into detail more for our district. The key question we're going to go over today: do the benefits of allowing homeschoolers to participate in Seguin ISD extracurricular activities outweigh the potential challenges we might face? Here's some data. A couple things I want to point out. There's only 37 schools in the state of Texas that have chosen to allow homeschool participation. So that's only about 97% of the school districts choose not to allow. So about 3% allow homeschool, 97 do not in the state of Texas currently. And then this came from a board member question. There's no school in our 13-5A or our 27-5A that allows homeschool participation in any UIL activities. So And those are all the areas, the 2 districts that we participate in. Lockhart ISD is the closest one that allows homeschool participation to us. So on this next one, we have linked their guidelines that their board have come through. So discussing with them, if we do choose, we have to meet with the committee, different members, the school board, and come up with our own policy. There's not a policy like a blanket policy. That's something we would have to come up and discuss together. But some of the key points that I want to point out that are required if we do with the policy, homeschool students must declare if they want to participate in a UI activity every year before August 1st to be allowed to be at the varsity level. And that's every year. Okay, that's a requirement. And then also if they do choose to participate, they are required to attend every event, practice, whatever, that every individual involved in that activity during the school day, before school, on the weekends, they have to abide by all the rules of that program. Okay, the funding that they talked about, and it's kind of gray area, but we did some research. The state will give you $1,500 per UIL activity, okay, that an athlete is, or a band student or somebody. So let's just say, for example, there's 10 band kids, right, that want to do this. Band only gets $1,500 from the state. It's not $1,500 per kid, okay? So that's where we see there's some administrative costs that we could see some, that could outweigh the financial that we're getting from there, because personnel, equipment, all that could exceed if we have multiple students in that one activity, if that makes sense to everybody on that. So that's kind of where the funding, I'm trying to clear that up on the funding. Okay, on this one right here, the biggest thing I want to point out is we do grade checks, we have UIL reports, what would be the challenge of how we would monitor the eligibility at all those UIL grade checks with a homeschool student, how we would do that, how would we do the grade checks? I don't know that answer. How do we check credits? You know, like a freshman to a sophomore, they have to have 5 credits the previous year to be eligible for 6 weeks. A junior has to have 10 credits total, or 5 the previous year. I mean, there's a comment. So how do we monitor that? And that's for all UIL activities if they're a homeschool student. That's kind of the unknown for us on that end. On the academic side, this one we're talking about extracurricular disruption. Homeschool students might have less accountability on attendance, discipline, monitor their participation on outside workouts versus in-school workouts. There's just a lot of stuff we would have to work through on how we're going to monitor that also. And then a little bit, we could see how the school culture would be, you know, all our programs spend a lot of time together, right? How an individual that only comes in there for a little bit, maybe an hour a day, and then the rest of the time they're not part of our school culture, how that relationship between everybody involved will work. We don't know how that will work because we've never experienced something like that. So right now, limiting resources. So in most of our activities, from middle school on up, we have some type of tryout process, because we have a lot of kids that want to participate, which is an awesome thing, right? Now, all our programs can't, okay, have unlimited numbers, so we have cuts, okay? So there's no guarantee to make the play, right? There's no guarantee to make this team or that group, because we might have limited spaces, or that activity might only have that small amount in there. Okay, so we would have to have trials. How would we do that with homeschool kids? And then how would we explain to them and how we would handle if a homeschool kid does not make the team, or a homeschool team does make the team and a kid that's in our programs all the time doesn't make the team or the play or whatnot. Like, how do we handle that? And, so that's kind of what we're talking about, limited resources. Right now, our recommendation from the administration is not accepting non-enrolled homeschool students, and the rationale is we want to protect our district resources more about ensuring the experience of the students that are with us every day, and not having all the information of a lot of unknowns on how to manage this whole situation. At this time, I think we would need to do a lot more research and dive into this and how it would affect the kids in Seguin that come to our programs every day through our school, the time we see them, from the time they get there to breakfast till they go home in the afternoon. So, right now, me and Martez, our fine arts director, we're here to ask any questions or clarifications on what we presented on y'all. Brought him because I know y'all had fine arts questions last time. He knows more about that than I do, I'm not gonna lie.
Well, since you're here, what is the openings like? Are you at capacity now? Can you take more
Well,
students?
here's the thing with the arts, it's not the same every year. You know, if we're in theater and we have a play or we have a show that we want to do, it may be different from one year to the next or one semester to the next. And so to go and say that there's a guarantee every year, it's not gonna happen. Same thing with things like our drum line or marching band, where we have to know the students, we have to see the students consistently before we go through the process of creating a production. It doesn't just happen. We have to be able to do that research. We have to know our kids. I think that's one of the beautiful things about Coach Daly and myself. Unlike a lot of administrators in our position throughout various districts, we get to teach kids every day still. And we see what they do, and we see them progress from 6th grade to 12th grade and even younger. And so there's going to be some unknowns when dealing with students that are not with us on a daily basis or consistently.
I'm sorry I didn't give you a chance ahead of time. Could you give me a ballpark figure of how many students you have enrolled in fine arts programs? Just at the high school level, I'm not going to ask for
Oh,
just high school.
it's several hundred. Our band program alone is at 200. Our theater program is around the same. Choir, we have multiple hundreds, and we usually don't really analyze the data till we get further into the semester. So, but we have several hundred students that are involved, and we rely on vertical alignment. We rely on being able to see those students grow throughout the years, and it's rare that we get students out of nowhere in any of the fine arts curriculums, unless it's an entry level program like Art 1 or something like that.
Same for sports. Do you have a ballpark
We're
figure? Just for
well,
fall
between
sports?
700 and 800 male and female athletes at the high school.
Is that just for fall or is that?
That's per year, because most of our kids are multi-sport kids, so they just go into rank 1. We'll use the program rank 1 with the physicals, because they all got to have it. There's, on average, there's between 700 and 800 physicals in there every year. So it's a lot.
Thank you, Mr. Davis.
Thank you, Mr. Davis. Mr. Davis.
There you go.
Thank you, Tony.
Do I hear a motion for item 6A pertaining to the homeschool UIL participation?
I move to not allow non-enrolled students who represent the district in UIL sponsored activities. This goes based off of our current staffing and our students and what that would impose with the administrative costs and time that it would take to manage this program. We just don't have the resources right now.
Do I hear a motion? Do I hear a second? Motion was made by Joshua Wright and second by Linda Duncan to not allow non-enrolled students to represent the district in UIL sponsored activities. Are there any discussions?
I do have for discussion, one of the things that we're talking about here, like UIL activities, and everyone's talking about like extracurricular activities, and that definition has changed over the years, especially from when I was a student, extracurricular was extracurricular, before school or after school. Almost all of our programs, except for like 2 of all of our UIL programs, which there's a lot more than just sports and fine arts, have a class associated with it. And that's the biggest thing, is it's not just an extracurricular before or after school thing. There's actually classes that go along with it. So not having unenrolled students or non-enrolled students participating in these things, it just doesn't do justice to that student for their experience and their learning and their education in that experience, or for the ones that are participating fully.
Any more discussions?
The last time this came up, I said I wanted to hear from people whose students were interested. Maybe there was a particular program that people were interested in. Linda and I met with one parent, and I received 2 emails. That was all that I received, and so I feel like if there are people out there who would like their students to participate in a particular area, I'd like to hear from them in the future, but I just didn't see a particular interest, because I feel like it's easier to look at starting, if we were to start something like this, starting it with one thing, and seeing how that works and how that would go. I think it's hard to just jump in with all activities, and so I look forward to anyone coming forward with something like that. But I think our resources are extremely stretched at the moment. I don't know how. I see fine arts more than I necessarily see other things. I don't know how our fine arts teachers do what they do with what they have, with the staff that we have. I don't know of a fine arts program where you don't need at least one more teacher in that program, maybe 2. And so I really hope that soon we get the resources that we need.
Any more discussions? Having heard none. Once again, the motion is to not allow non-enrolled students to represent the district in UIL activities, sponsored activities. All in favor, raise your right hand. Motion passed 4-0. I'm just going to make a comment on this action item. As a parent or guardian, you have choices on how to provide the appropriate education for your children. Some of those choices include public education or homeschooling. Both choices have unique activities. Seguin ISD offers UIL activities that often yield positive outcomes, which extend beyond high school graduation. Most of our UIL programs have received regional, state, and national recognition. We feel that the current academics offered by our district play a vital role that complements these recognitions. We welcome all Seguin ISD students to take advantage of all the UIL activities that we offer by enrolling in our district. In addition to our UIL activities, our district also offers other great programs such as CTE, Early College High School, and PTEC. Now we'll move on to item 6C. Approval of proposed budget amendments and financial statements for July 2024, and Liz will present.
Good evening, President Guerra, Dr. Young, Board of Trustees. This first item is our financial statements and budget amendments. This is something that's normally, it's always on the consent agenda, but we wanted to take it off, have it separate, just to kind of give an explanation. You can see for the general fund that there are some moves, some budget amendments. It is a wash. So we're taking from one function and we're giving it to another function. There's lots of reasons why this happens in the year. One example for one of these moves is that we had someone that was in a director position last year, and now they're a specialist. And so it's a different function. So their salary went from a function 21 to a function 11. So it's that kind of stuff. Something might have been coded to technology last year, and it was discovered that it was used for security. So we're going to put it in function 52 instead of function 53. With the deficit budget that we are trying to make better, I guess, this year, we are taking the stance that if you want to do something new, that we're looking for that in the budget that was already approved by the board. So y'all approved a budget for the 24-25 school year, and we're trying to stay within that budget rather than adding to our deficit. So that's an explanation of those amendments. And I would be happy to answer any questions on that.
Does the board have any questions?
I move for approval of the proposed budget amendments and financial statements for July 2024.
Second.
Linda made a motion to approve item 6C, and second by Joshua Bright. Are there any discussions? Any discussions? All in favor, raise your right hand. Motion passed. And now we'll move on to item 6D, approval of interlock agreement with Education Services Center 16 text by cooperative.
Yes, sir. So these next few items are all very similar. Basically, it's the beginning of the year, and I have a great purchasing coordinator. She went to another very large district's website to look at, they list all of their cooperatives and interlocal contracts that they have. And what this does is it gives our employees more options as they're looking for vendors that they can purchase things from. All of these purchases that are made through these cooperatives have already been competitively bid. So as federal guidelines get stricter, it gets harder to find vendors. So it's a good practice. So she found these and wanted to bring them to the board for approval.
Do I hear a motion to approve item 6D?
I move to approve item 6D.
Do I hear a second? Motion has been made by Joshua Bright and second by Linda Duncan to approve item 6D. All in favor? Are there any discussions? Any discussions?
I have a question. Yep. So when we're looking at some of these cooperatives, especially the ones where like we're piggybacking off a particular purchase, do our employees document which purchase those are every time, or do they? Yes, you have to. Yes, you have to contact the school district and that the purchase was where it's made at, if it was made from another district, and get a copy of all of their proposals. And yes, our auditor, there's a good chance the auditors will ask for those.
Any further discussions? Having heard none, all in favor of agreeing with approving item 6D, raise your right hand. Motion passed, 4-0. Item 6E, approval of board resolution with Educational Service Center 5, Southeast Texas Cooperative.
This is the exact same thing as the last one. These are all service centers. So, and I also wanted to point out that none of these have fees. They're all free for the school district to join. So this is exactly what the last one.
Mr. President, I move to approve the board resolution with Education Service Center 5, Southeast Texas Cooperative.
Motion has been made to approve item 6E by Linda Duncan. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Denise Quinlan. Any discussions? Any discussions? All in favor, raise your right hand. Motion passed, 4-0. Item 6F, approval of interlock agreement with Education Service Center 6, EPIC 6 Cooperative.
Yes, so this is the same. This is with Region 6.
Mr. President, I move for approval of an interlocal agreement with Education Service Center 6, EPIC 6 Cooperative.
Motion has been made by Linda Duncan to approve item 6F. Do we hear a second?
Second.
Second by Joshua Wright. Any discussions? Any discussions? All in favor, raise your right hand. 4-0, motion passed. Item 6G, approval of interlocal agreement with Education Services Center 15791 Cooperative.
Sorry, this is exactly the same. This is with Region 15.
President, I move for approval of interlocal agreement with Education Service Center 15791 Cooperative.
Motion has been made by Linda Duncan to approve item 6G as read. Do I hear a second? Second by Denise Goodman. Any discussions? Any discussions? All in favor, raise your right hand. Motion passed 4-0.
Mr. Guerra, can we go back to E? I didn't get the motion and the second on that. I apologize.
To G.
The one right before this one.
Bill.
I did, Linda, you did them all, and I seconded E and G.
So it was Linda made the motion and Denise seconded.
Thank you.
It's your turn.
Okay, now item 6H, approval of the general contractor for the transportation facilities additions and renovations. RFCP CSD competitive. Presenting by Liz Lizzo.
Yes, sir, so this was our bids for our transportation project, that we will be starting. We received 7 bids. The scoring, the tabulation sheet is in your board packet, and as you can see, it was very close, especially with our top 2. But we would like to recommend that MTX General Contractors be used for this project. I'd be happy to answer any questions at all.
I just have to the history score, last 5 projects with 10. What was the last, can you give me a couple of the last projects?
For MTech,
Yeah.
for MTX, so they're currently doing the fencing and cameras, the safety and security project for the district. I think in the past they've done some work here at, under another name called Dawson Construction. They did some doors, and then, the owner of MTech used to work also for Bartlett Cobb and worked on a high school project.
So
That's all I know of.
okay, so, with one project with MTX
Yes, currently.
currently, and that's why they got the 10 out of 10. Score on that?
Personally, that wasn't what gave them extra points from my perspective. And, I can go through in more detail with y'all. I don't know if I need to do that in closed session. Yeah, I mean, there was a, cost savings aspect to their proposal that, and with price being the highest ranking and grasp of the project, it was significant enough. It was extremely close. There's no other way to say that.
When it says last 5 projects, is that with us or just in general? Because is it the one before, right before that, is the experience with us?
Last 5 projects is, they will put projects in there that they are doing that aren't
They can be with
necessarily
anybody.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay, I see that. Experience with SIC and
It's, everybody's a 1 or 2 on there.
Yeah, one thing we really paid attention with on this project was the use of subcontractors that, the general contractors had chosen, given experience that we've had on other projects.
Any more questions from the board? Do I hear a motion to approve item 6H? Approval of the general contractor for the transportation facilities addition and renovation?
I move to approve the general contractor for transportation facility additions and renovations to MTX General Contractors.
Motion has been made by Joshua Bright. Do I hear a second? Second by Linda Duncan. Any further discussions? Any discussions? Any discussions? All in favor, raise your right hand. 4-0, motion passed. Thank you, Liz.
Thank you.
Now moving item to six, action item 6I, nominate candidate for the Guadalupe County Appraisal District Board of Directors. And I had this conversation with Joshua Bright, and he is willing to be a member of the board. Currently, Ben Amador will not be coming back. He's a current member. So I just need a motion to accept item 6I. Do I hear a motion?
I was waiting to see if Denise.
Oh, I was looking, it says resolution, but it doesn't mean resolution in the resolution thing, so go for it.
What do you mean by resolution? Where do you see that word? Is it on some?
In the exhibits, I thought it was gonna do my work for me.
Oh, no, it didn't. So we need to approve your nomination?
Correct, approve the
Move for
candidate.
approval of the nominated candidate, Joshua Bright, to serve on the Guadalupe County Appraisal District Board of Directors.
Solly Duncan made a motion to approve item 6I, Joshua Bright, the candidate for the Guadalupe County Appraisal District Board of Directors. Do I hear a second? Second by Denise Quitman. Are there any discussions? Any discussions? Any discussions? All in favor, raise your right hand. Motion passed 4-0. Congratulations, Josh. Now we'll move to item number 7, closed session. Board will adjourn into closed session pursuant to the following sections of Texas Open Meeting Act. 7A, pursuant to Texas Government Code Section 551.071, 551.074, 551.129. Consultation with legal counsel, including possible telephone consultation with legal counsel as necessary, to address legal concerns, implications, and answer any legal questions regarding posted agenda items. 7B, pursuant to Texas Government Code Section 551.074, discuss personnel matters, including appointment, employment, evaluation, reassignment, duties, discipline or dismissal of employee or employees. 7C, pursuant to Texas Government Code Section 551.072, discuss the sale, purchase, exchange, lease, or value of real property. 7D, pursuant to Texas Government Code Section 551.0821, deliberation regarding public school students. It is 8:16 and we will now convene to closed session. 5, and we'll reconvene to the open meeting. The board will take appropriate action on items if necessary, as discussed in closed session. And we did not take any action, so we'll move on to item number 9, board comments and requests. Does any board member have any comments or requests? We'll move on to item number 10, to adjourn the meeting. Do we hear a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Vote my move to adjourn the meeting, sir.
Motion has been made by Joshua Bright. Do we hear a second? Second by Denise Crisman. To adjourn the meeting. All in favor, raise your right hand. Motion passed 4-0. It's 9:25.
It's early. Y'all welcome. Here we go.